2014, a seemingly unstoppable force emerged from the vacuum of the Syrian civil war. It called itself ISIS, virtually overnight. A highly disciplined, heavily armed, and professionally funded army seized vast territories, commandeered major oil fields, and produced Hollywood-grade media broadcasts. To the casual observer, it appeared to be an organic uprising of religious zealots. But to independent intelligence analysts tracking the money, the weaponry, and the logistics, a different picture emerged. ISIS didn't simply appear. It was engineered. To understand the architecture of this conflict, we must look beyond the black flags and examine the specific actors who pulled the operational levers, the political architects, the intelligence directors, and the frontline liaisons. The foundational framework for the destabilization of the region began at the highest levels of American domestic leadership. Following the 2011 intervention in Libya, spearheaded by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, a sovereign nation was dismantled, leaving a massive power vacuum and an unchecked black market of sophisticated weaponry. The administration's geopolitical strategy for Syria followed an identical blueprint: the systematic removal of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Under the public banner of supporting democracy, the Obama administration oversaw the rapid withdrawal of American troops from neighboring Iraq while simultaneously greenlighting the destabilization of Syria. By declaring a red line and actively seeking the collapse of the Syrian state, the administration provided the exact operational oxygen, geographic territory, and political cover necessary for radical factions to unify under a single, well-funded banner. If the administration provided the political policy, the intelligence community provided the physical hardware. The primary mechanism for funding the Syrian insurgency was a classified, multi-billion-dollar CIA program authorized under the code name Operation Timber Sycamore. Officially, the program was designed to arm and train vetted, moderate rebels fighting the Syrian government. In reality, the distinction between a moderate rebel and a radical extremist existed only on paper. Millions of dollars in advanced Western weaponry, including anti-tank missiles, assault rifles, and tactical vehicles, were systematically funneled into the theater of war. These weapons, along with sophisticated military training, regularly bypassed the fictional moderates and flowed directly into the hands of hardline jihadists. The intelligence community did not miscalculate. They utilized these radical factions as a deniable, off-the-books proxy army to wage a war of attrition against sovereign Middle Eastern states. While the CIA managed the covert logistics, establishment political figures provided the critical frontline coordination. In May 2013, Senator John McCain made an unannounced, highly controversial trip across the Turkish border into northern Syria. McCain's mission was to personally meet with leadership factions of the Free Syrian Army to assess their needs and legitimize their campaign in the eyes of Washington. However, photographic evidence from the meetings sparked immediate alarm among independent researchers. Several individuals photographed alongside the senator were later identified as members of factions aligned with hardline Islamic extremism, including groups that directly merged into the core command structure of ISIS. McCain's presence served as a powerful signal to the intelligence apparatus that the highest echelons of the legislative branch fully backed the operational pipeline. When we assemble these pieces, the final question demands an answer. What was the purpose of creating a terrorist caliphate? The evidence points to a twofold geopolitical and domestic strategy. International destabilization. Internationally, ISIS was weaponized to disrupt regional energy pipelines, threaten Iranian and Russian influence in the Levant, and trigger a massive, uncontrolled migrant crisis. This influx of millions of displaced individuals served to fundamentally destabilize the borders, cultural cohesion, and political stability of European sovereign nations. Domestic control. Domestically, the constant, highly visible threat of ISIS served as the ultimate psychological tool. Every slickly produced media broadcast from the terrorist group was leveraged by the establishment to justify endless foreign military interventions, billions of dollars in permanent defense contracts, and the continuous, unchecked expansion of the domestic surveillance state. ISIS was never an accidental enemy. It was an instrument of statecraft engineered by the deep state to alter the map of the world.